Hello guys, once again it's Matt, and today we have another video. Thank you all the members, all the patrons. Make sure to subscribe and let's get into it. So, if you haven't heard, today we had a kind of a major thing, an update for War Thunder top tier, especially top tier air. And that's just the addition of extra drag for basically all the missiles. Basically all missiles have more induced drag right now, especially when they are trying to turn. And notice that they feel a lot worse, they lose a lot of energy when they are trying to turn. Overall, it doesn't feel that much different. If the target just stands still, it will basically be the same. But there are some things that I think we can get from this. And yeah, just some topics that I wanted to talk about. First things first. Was it a good change or a bad change? I think it was a needed change. I feel like right now it's way more realistic than it was. The Sparrows are no longer overperforming like they were. The missiles that, I mean, people just tend to consider that missiles are way better than they actually should be. Missiles are meant to be fired, and sometimes they hit. If you notice, if you go research basically the hit rates of Sparrows from the Gulf War, so AIM-7Ms, they basically had a 37% hit rate. What does that mean, man? 37%? I mean, that's bad, right? And that's the thing, man. Missiles miss a lot. The more we go into the future, the less they will miss, but still they will miss a lot. And yes, I was feeling a little bit that the missiles were a little bit overperforming. It was fun to kill people from 60 kilometers that easily, but it was just kind of, I mean, we are normally flying at very low altitudes, even less than 5,000 meters, and even doing that, you just felt that the missiles had an infinite amount of energy. Like, it was really weird. And right now, they're going to be a little bit more realistic. So I think it's a good change for the future. This way we don't have like a very, very effective missile like the ER. Everything is going to be tuned down a little bit while turning. And with that, we can actually have more additions for the future, better missiles for the future, like AIM-9Ms, R-73s and stuff like that, with a realistic kind of line of thinking behind it. DCS hits like this, you can feel that Sparrows miss a lot there, especially if the target is trying to turn, like they normally do, right? And even the R-27s, I mean, they are very, very amazing missiles. Of course, I think they are better than the Sparrow, but still, they have that problem as well in DCS as well. So, only if you go like to, I don't know, 17 kilometers of altitude, and have like Mach 1, Mach 2 plus speeds, then you can get the 80 to 100 kilometers range on those missiles, right? And yeah, that's DCS, which is normally a little, I mean, it's not that it's more realistic, but that's debatable, right? But still, it felt like it was too easy to get very, very far away kills. Now, especially for the Sparrows, I think you can still get 30 kilometer kills with it, but the target needs to be standing still. And with that, I think we just have a more smoother way going to the future with missiles that actually have 20-30 kilometer max of effective range. And that will be the case with Fox 3s as well, and in the future with more advanced missiles. So it's just a very good addition. I think it became a little bit more realistic. So yeah, what we can draw from this, one of the things is that, for example, cranking and notching will be a lot more effective. So if you know how to use those skills of trying to avoid missiles like that, it will make missiles miss a lot more. So it's another thing that I think it is a lot easier now to do. So it makes it so that if you actually do those type of things, it will be a little bit more rewarding, especially because you don't have to pull your nose away from the target as much as you needed before, right? So you can maintain the target and just crank and, you know, make the missile of the enemy lose the energy. And that will be very realistic as well. Other things that I think we need to consider is that the Soviet missiles, they have the wrong burn times according to some manuals. Maybe that's fixed. The way that it is right now, the burn time is very short on the Russian missiles normally. For example, the R-23, it's 1.85 seconds when it should be, according to some manuals, 3 seconds. But it has extra power. So now with the the bigger drag that we have with it, maybe if they actually put it at the less power, they normally did that. I think they told us once in the forums that they do that sometimes in some missiles because real life physics are different from in-game physics, right? So they have to adjust everything to be kind of realistic in the performance of the missile, so they don't get stuck with burn times, you know, they get stuck with the performance of the missile being correct. So it was working like that in a very realistic way, so it was fine, right? Then now maybe we can have the proper lower powered ones, a lower power thrust of the Russian missiles, but with a longer burn time, making it have kind of a more continuous peak of power during the initial phases of the flight, and not losing so much energy when turning as well, because it will be burning a little bit more time, so even though it has less power. So yeah, maybe they will do that. It would be fun to have that. That would mean that a missile like the R-27 would have a more similar kind of graphic performance on the Sparrows, for example. So yeah, I think it would be more realistic, but that's just my opinion on it. Maybe they will just remain with it. And I think it's overall a very good addition. But again, we need to get accustomed to, so you need to get used to it. Even the lower ranges, low range missiles like the R-60 and stuff like that, they also got this nerf, or if you can call it a nerf. PL-5s, AIM-9Ls, every single missile. So it's not even like I'm not gonna even say that it's a proper nerf, because it is the same as it was with the flares, right? If it's realistic, I think it needs to be in the game. And if everybody has that, so everybody got an increase in the increased drag, it would mean that everybody has that problem to deal with. It means that some aircraft will, you know, still be worse than the others. The missiles will still, but the Sparrow will still have less energy than ER. But instead of being like a 40-kilometer shot against a 60-kilometer shot, it will be basically a 40-kilometer shot guarantee kill, or 30, against a 20-kilometer shot with the Sparrow, right? It will be just a little bit different, but way more realistic, and hopefully they keep doing this type of thing, because it is really appreciated, especially in these minor things, or hidden things, if you will, that normally people don't tend to pay attention too much, but it actually makes the game a lot more realistic. So yeah, get out there, test the missiles, because they do feel different when the target is turning. I got a kill, like I was testing in one of the matches with the F-16AJ, with the AIM-7, and it was a very funny thing. At 30 kilometers, I got a kill, like 30 something kilometers or something like that, when the target was barely moving. It was an F4, right? And then another aircraft, a MiG-23, shortly afterwards, I shot it from 20 kilometers or even less than that, and the missile could not get to the target because it was flying a little bit higher than me. So you can feel that the energy loss of it. And it wasn't a big difference between the altitude of the two, but you can feel it. You know, you will see that if you've played enough of War Thunder with a specific aircraft, with a specific missile, you will notice the amount of less maneuverability. And especially, I think the major thing is the time to target, man. It really takes a long time to do long-range kills, because obviously bigger drags means it's losing speed a little bit quicker, and with that it is taking more time to get to the target while dropping energy as well. So you do feel that. I mean, the ER, it was almost a hypersonic missile before, and now it's all right. It takes time to get there. The Sparrow, it's so much time that you need. I mean, I fired from a 20-kilometer shot, and I was near 9 when it hit the target, or 8. So it takes time, you know, to get to the target, more than it was before. So get used to that, to kind of slower missiles, more time, but think about that it is an improvement in realism. It's just more realistic this way. So yeah, but we need to get accustomed, as I said before. It is going to take a little bit of time, but everything that I always say goes with it. Just pay attention for your radar, on the ranges of the radar. It will help you have an idea if the missile has the energy to hit the target or not. And hopefully we get more realistic modifications like this. But anyway, let me know in the comments what you think about this change. Do you think it's a big nerf, that the game is completely broken, or do you think it's a good thing? I personally think it's good. Let's see what you guys think, okay? And I see you guys in the next one. Make sure to subscribe, and bye guys. See you.